Hey guys, this is Matt. This is a response to Jan Haayer's question, who are you and what do you do? Of course, I'm Matthew Gettert. I'm a mechanic by trade. Currently work on small equipment, small engines, Hondas, Briggs & Stratton, it's concrete equipment, construction equipment for a company called Machinery and Tool. This is Raisin. This is our adopted pet. We saved him. Couldn't resist him. Where was I? Oh yes. Stop. He wants the donuts I have on my lips for my snack. So, but as I say, I work on small equipment, construction equipment. I've always worked on cars out of high school. Worked on cars at a garage. Left there, went to another garage, worked on cars. Went to a car dealership and was a rental agent. Did rental cars, rented them out. That sucked. Had to wear a tie. Felt like I was getting choked for 5 years. Left there. Went to a rental company. Worked on equipment. Rented equipment. Left there, went to work on boats. Worked on boats for over 8 years. Always been around boats, so that wasn't anything new. The motor end of it was something different. The only problem is living in Ohio, it's seasonal. And this year, nasty winters like this, you'd be lucky to get 3 months of boating in. By the time the lake thaws, it'll be July. So I left the boats, went to work on cars, and just at that age where the lifting and tires and dragging and over the head, after 5 years, it just wore me out. If I'd have started and stayed into it, it'd probably been all right, but working on boats is easy labor. It's not strenuous whatsoever, and cars is 3 times as much work. That and the company that I was working for wasn't that busy, so it was always hit and miss. Being paid flat rate is kind of a bummer. You have good weeks, and then you have a bunch of bad weeks. So I left there, and where I'm at now, took a pay increase. I'm loving it. I was there for 3 months, 2 weeks vacation, sick days, great people to work for, family owned and operated. Worked with those in the past, and they're usually great people to work for when you can work for the family. Started out modeling when I was a teenager. I don't even remember it so long ago, but I remember brush painting. Wow, that was great. It looked good. And graduate to spray cans. It still looked great. Built. Had boxes of cars. I moved out and got married when I was 18. First child came along, and of course the kids and family, that stuff overtakes the hobby. Small apartments, didn't have room for it, so we moved into, packed them all up, moved them into storage, and over the years of moving, they got smashed and destroyed, and they ended up just throwing them out. I did try after the second son was born. Tried building. I had a couple cars I think I built, trying to get him interested in the hobby. To this day, I still have the model that he started, and it has not been finished. I won't throw it away just in case he decides he wants to do it. Then I'll pull it out of the closet and he can finish it. But mine, again, moving, it was the USA 1 truck. It was one of them, and it destroyed and moves, so it didn't stick around very long. My youngest son joined the Marine Corps and shipped off on August 20th of 2012. And on the way home from the airport, I decided to get back into the modeling side of it. I said, let's try something different, so I decided to build a jet. Well, that was good. It was fun. Something new, something different. Back into what I enjoyed doing in the first place. It turned out good. I used the tube glue. Every once in a while I got to put a part back on. And I decided, yeah, I wanted to build a rusty car. How would I do this? How am I going to make a rusty car? I always built shiny stuff when I was a kid. I wanted to do something different. So YouTube being YouTube, I said, oh, there's got to be some way on there. Search YouTube, and what do I find? Dr. Cranky. So I found Dr. Cranky's site, his YouTube channel, and of course you got links on the side. Found some other channels and some of the recommendations that he had. You know, check these out. This Fast Jiminy 71, Dave Parker, of course. And you just keep searching. You find all kinds of stuff, and then eventually you're subscribed to 200 people just to build one rusty car. So I did that and watched on YouTube for a while before I made a video. And I think the first 2 cars I did were, I found one with Dr. Cranky's salting method, and I thought, yeah, just starting that's a little out there for me. And somebody, I forget who it was, I found the rust solution, I can't think of the name of it, where you just brush it on. I found that and I said, well, I can pick some of that up. That's fairly inexpensive, easy to do, and that's how I did the first one. The second one, working on cars, I had a Snap-on account. I bought a Snap-on airbrush, which is essentially Badger with a Snap-on name on it. And the second car was rusted and weathered and the Dr. Cranky way. And that, I would have to say, to this date, is probably one of my favorite builds, because I actually drew the truck on a piece of paper, the colors I wanted, the stance I wanted, and then I built the truck. It ended up being red, blue door, blue hood, a little rusty, little skull, crossbone, just decal on the side, something out there. So that truck was the first I lowered, front and rear, and it's the first that I weathered and painted doing the airbrush. And I'd have to say that is, to this date, probably still one of my favorite trucks. I love brush painting. My grandmother and my mother were into China painting, so as kids we'd go to Grandma's house, we'd want something to do. Grandma would get some China paints out and some tiles, and we'd draw stuff and paint it. So I've always had that knack for doing that, so I always try to incorporate something into my builds that, with the brush painting, whether it just be the interior. I did the camo truck, and then all the camos hand painted on the first camo truck I did. So I'm always trying to expand on that. And the China painting techniques actually transfer over, so the limits are pretty much limitless. There are no limits if you can do it. I've been married for, let me get this right in case she watches this, 25 years. Well, 24 years. It'll be 25 coming December. My oldest son is 25 in March. My youngest will be 20. Oh man, he's going to be 21. Ooh, party time. But that's about it. That's all I have. Just love building. Lately I've just kind of overwhelmed with some builds that I'm doing, and decided to build something different. I won in a raffle, did a little airplane, decided I had fun doing that, so I'm building another one. So that's me. But I love cars, always have. I just build them the way I like them. I always built drag cars when I was a kid, so I try not to build them anymore. I build one here and there, but otherwise I like to just do different stuff, try new things, always trying to expand on doing something better than I did on the last build, whether it be a technique for weathering or just adding details that I hadn't done before. And once the weather breaks, the fisherman in me comes out, and then the modeling goes downhill. So if we ever get some nice weather, I can get the boat going and get on the water and catch some fish. But that's who I am. That's what I do. Thanks for watching. I want to say I'm up to 459 subscribers. I want to thank everybody for watching. I know sometimes I can be a little goofy, not as crazy as the Atomic Dog 32, but I can get a little crazy. I'm getting better at this, more comfortable in front of the camera. Been doing some hangouts and meeting some new people that way. It's been pretty nice. This hobby it's hard to find people that do this hobby. If you do, there are not a lot that are close to you. I did join the model club, so there's some guys we hang out, but we're scattered. We don't all, you might drive 50 miles before you find another guy that wants to hang out and do a model or something. So the YouTube community is nice. If you can get into a model club, if you build cars, that's fine. If you build military, they have the IPMS. And even if you don't have a car club, the IPMS, they build a lot of military. I don't know that they do cars. I don't know that they won't do cars, but they're really big in the military. But the ones that I've met in our club here locally, all great guys. So, they're willing to share and have fun. That's what it's all about, is having a good time. So, that being said, everybody have a good evening. Thanks for subscribing. And this video is taking way too long for me. I'm going to go polish the head, pet the dog, give him some attention, so leave me alone. I'll see you guys later.